it was real nice. So, I'm gonna just keep following up with them. Can you hear me?
I think she's muted
Now
now.
I'm muted. Now it's me. Um,
Okay.
so do you think that's something, doing those calls in the evening, is that something that might be beneficial, maybe once a month per se?
Absolutely. I was gonna say that if we can continue to do that, I think it would.
Okay, yeah, and what was that kind of that time frame? Do you think that was good? Because I find that some people can't attend, webinars during the day, so that's why we decided to try an evening time.
Yeah, I think evening is good. And yeah, the guy from Remax was like, "Thanks for inviting me." It was short and sweet. So I'm thinking the timing was good.
Perfect. And that was actually going to be my next question, because I know there's, sessions that go, an hour, hour and a half long. So I wanted your feedback on kind of the timing. And Belinda, I apologize. I don't know. Were you on the call last night?
Yes, I was on a call and I had an investor on a call.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, investors always have a great entrepreneurial mindset. So that's good.
Yeah, he was thinking about making a crossover.
I know well, he's sitting right next to me. My husband's done that. You never know. So I like how you're kind of thinking out of the box, that, not just entertaining the possibility to agents today, but some of our top producers are not even licensed yet. And that's something to always remember. So good job. What were, for kind of open for both of you, what was the feedback on the content? Did I go too fast, or was the amount of time? I think we tried to keep it about 45 minutes or less. So.
No, it was perfect. Oh yeah. It was one question a Keller Williams agent asked me, and I got to get back to her. As far as when you cap, what fees are included?
Right. So after you cap, that's where the transaction fee of $250 is kicked in, up until 20 transactions, where it's reduced down to $75. That's also where you can hit icon status as well. And then per transaction, there's the $25 broker review fee, and then the $40 E&O. But if she's capped, she's most likely capped on the E&O as well, because that caps at $500.
Okay. So it'd just be the transaction fee.
Yeah, and the broker review fee.
And that's the 40 and 25.
Around $300 post after you've capped.
Okay. All right. So I could let her know, because she said that part, it was good. And then she got to understand that part before she make her decision.
Perfect. Yeah, it was on the slide. I didn't go into it in detail, because sometimes what I found, it might confuse if you go into numbers too much initially. So I appreciate you for saying that. So I'll make note of that for next time.
Okay.
Awesome. I wanted to go over one of the, we just kind of continue the different objections that we've been doing the last few weeks. So how are you guys handling the objection of agents that might come from 100%? So they're essentially 100% companies. They're just paying a straight transaction fee. Have you guys run into that yet?
I haven't ran into it yet.
And no, neither have I.
Okay.
Yet.
Okay, so we might dive into some of the other objections, but I'll kind of give you guys, because you probably will sooner, probably rather than later, because there's a lot of those companies. It's definitely trending. To be honest, I'm not sure how managing brokers and owners are making money in that business model, but I always recommend that agents compare apples to apples. Right. So even though your brokerage, and I let agents know, EXP may not be for everyone. We're not the cheapest brokerage in town. We're definitely very competitive. But if you're looking to save a penny rather than to make a dollar, then, you might want to stay with the 100% brokerage. But when you compare apples to apples, so let's take, an agent that might be with a company and there's limited technology, limited systems and support, because the broker can only go so far with those fees, right? So maybe they don't have KV Core, maybe they don't have a way to manage their systems, and some of their leads are following through the crack, or they're having to buy a system like KV Core on their own, $500-$600 a month. What are all those fees and what do they add up to? And oftentimes I can find that we can come out, ahead, especially if you look at the stock awards and the potential with revenue share as well. But even just the systems alone, even if they can add just one deal a month using KV Core, that's going to more than probably pay for their cap, right? So it's really about comparing apples to apples and looking at the opportunity. And so I just was curious if you guys had gone over that. And some other notes that I have here is 100%, and almost jokingly say, why so low? Is that as high as you can get? Because as you guys know with the XP, we can get to 100%, but when you factor in the stock, when you factor in the revenue share and all the other, many streams of revenue there that we can calculate, we as agents have the ability to be way more than 100%, right? 2, 3, 400%. I can't even calculate at a point. So you don't want to say it in a defensive way, but certainly, explain to them what the opportunity is, but they have to see it, right? So, and of course, we have to feed their ego and let them know that they're business savvy. So it's definitely smart to really run the numbers, because oftentimes they can find that they can make more. So any questions or feedback on that? We might get into some different objections that you guys have faced.
No questions on that.
Okay.
Not for me.
Okay. Let me see. Is there, before I get into another one, is there anything in particular you guys want to go over?
Well, I just want your opinion, but it has nothing to do with agent attraction. It has something to do with the KV Core. So it's a little difficult for me. So what do you think about me hiring a virtual assistant to do my database and take control of that for me?
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more. So you mentioned KV Core is difficult. Is it the time management, learning the system, having the time every day to kind of work out of your CRM? What part of it is?
Yeah, it's just the time. Like, I'd rather spend my time on stuff that I enjoy doing.
Okay.
Like watching the videos and learning, and because I know it can generate a lot of leads. But to really go deep into it, I don't want to spend my time doing that.
Well, I like that you're being honest.
I like your honesty.
Right. And certainly, it's always smart anytime you acknowledge something's kind of draining your energy to probably leverage it. You just want to make sure if you're taking funds and you're leveraging that part of your business, that you're focusing on high leverage activities and money-making activities, right? So if I'm going to hire a virtual assistant to work my KV Core, I need to make sure that I'm, picking up the phone, helping convert them, going on appointments, those kind of activities. I only say that because, we want to make sure that the end goal is to have more closings, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
If you acknowledge that's a challenge of yours, it's definitely smart to work out of a CRM every single day. You literally want to have anybody and everybody, whether it's KV Core or a like CRM. There's no way you can track every communication you had, every relationship you have, because leads will fall through the cracks. So if you look at that and say, well, I had 5 conversations last month that I didn't put into my CRM, then yeah, it might make sense, because that could have been 5 clients that you've missed because they have fallen through the cracks.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Thank
So
you.
I would just look at that. It's a bit of a personal and a business decision, but it sounds like you've kind of already identified that that's something you don't enjoy doing, and the fact of the matter is, if you don't enjoy doing it, you're probably not going to do it.
Exactly.
So you got to be real and honest with yourself, which it sounds like you are.
Yeah. So they basically do my social media, and they do my my database. Like, they send out the newsletters every 2 weeks. They are set up, reminders for me to call. Like, I'm gonna do all the calling because I don't mind making phone calls.
Right.
But they send me like reminders of who to call daily, and just they stay in contact with my leads. And all I gotta do is just email them when I get in contact with somebody new and they just put them in my database and, put them on a drip campaign, just really stay in front of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. So from that perspective, it sounds like you would be focusing on the money-making activities, which is getting on the phone, setting appointments, building those relationships, and so on. So yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Any wins or anything you guys want to share from this week?
Nothing from this week. I do have an objection that I wanted to go through though.
Okay, absolutely.
And that's the objection of I've been with my company for 5 years and I'm not sure how to break loose.
So is this somebody that's already looked at the opportunity with EXP? They don't have that loyalty.
Yes, they already looked at the opportunity.
Okay, so they're
how,
ready to join. They're basically scared. They have that loyalty to their broker and don't want to let them know.
yes.
Okay.
And it's interesting because I was the same way, but I don't know how to answer them back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, and I actually have the script here. I don't think I would say it exactly. You always have to remember scripts. You've got to kind of shift them a little bit, your own personality and what you're comfortable in saying. But you can say something along the lines of this: is you can spot fools a mile away. I bet your broker sees that with you being there for 15 years. Is your broker paying you to leave your license there? And of course, they're going to say, well, no. So every time you put out a sign, an advertisement, your business card, it has their company name on it, right? They're going to say, well, yeah. Okay, so you're building their brand and you're paying them. So one thing I would ask yourself, are you being taken advantage of? And they're going to start kind of thinking back and forth a little bit. So then you ask, well, in the entire 15 years or 5 years, however long you've been at your company, did you ever introduce another agent to the brokerage? And they'll say, well, yeah, I might have gotten like a Starbucks gift card, depending on which model they're in. So you ask, did you get paid for that? So I know it's human nature to put stuff off. You're never going to not be too busy, and I want to help you take action. So the whole goal is they have a loyalty to their broker. So you want to kind of almost pull on the emotional strings.
Okay.
Are you more loyal to your broker than you are yourself and your family?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And
that's what I would say.
That's a humdinger.
It'll pull up those heartstrings.
Yeah. But then you can also flip it and say, you know what, I can relate because I was in that same situation. And then I had to think about who I'm loyal to. Is it my family or my broker? Like, what's the best opportunity for you? Because that's how I decided. Like the company I was with, I loved them, but it was a no-brainer because the numbers just made so much sense. So, I went to them and I explained to them it's nothing personal, it's business, but they still took it personal. But long as you know that you're doing it genuinely, sometimes you can't worry about how other people take it. You just got to make sure that you do it the way that you're supposed to do it and leave with respect. And if they don't understand, that's on them. Shoot, they might want to join once you share, if they want more questions about it, they might be open to the opportunity.
Well, and Tammy, I want to have to kind of applaud you here. You hit the nail on the head. So just as she mentioned, give examples. So I always talk about, just as she did, I've been with 2 real estate brokerages in 11 years. EXP is my second and my last. My first brokerage, I was very loyal to them. I've been there for over 5 years. And I loved my brokers, but I realized I had to do what's best for myself and my family. And luckily I left on good terms, and I was able to maintain that relationship with my broker. It didn't actually, she behind the scenes applauded me and was very supportive. Now, as Tammy mentioned, is that always going to be the case? Absolutely not. We have an agent joining us right now. The broker got wind that she was thinking about leaving and unfortunately just released her license with no warning. That's probably not somebody you want to work with anyway, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, it's almost a win-win. You can still maintain the relationship, or their true colors come out and you probably don't want to be in business with that person anyway.
Yeah, and that's what happened to me. They true colors came out, and I thank God that I'm not in business with them.
Right.
Mm.
And, you know, of
Yeah.
course we don't wish for that, but that's, you know, as Tammy said, it's true. When it comes down to money and business, you know, people will react differently. So
Yeah.
you really have to dig deep with the agent, ask a lot of questions. Much of agent attraction is asking questions and then pausing and listening. So, you know, where do they see themselves? If you're, you know, Belinda, or if you're doing the same thing you're doing today, where are you going to be in 5 years? Right?
Mm-hmm.
About buying and selling houses. Okay, what are some of your goals? Well, I want to make more money. Okay, in order to make more money, that means to sell more houses, right? Which means less time with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what if I could show you a way where you can still maintain your business today, free up, you know, maybe you're going to hit icon or whatever the production level of that agent is, and then you can now build leverage income. So your and your family's legacy and income is not contingent upon just representing buyers and sellers every day and opening doors for the rest of your life. So sometimes you have to be very direct and honest, but it's because you're trying to genuinely help them, to help them see a vision that they have yet to see.
Mm-hmm.
So, and sometimes it means pulling at those heartstrings. So I have very many times said it with a smile. Are you more loyal to your broker than you are you and your family?
Yes.
And I've never, ever heard somebody say they're more loyal to their broker.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Okay.
Very true.
Great. Well, I love
Awesome.
it. Anything else that you guys want to add to that?
No, that's perfect.
Yeah, I mean that's really good, and that's a question that just didn't dawn on me to ask. And like you said, I need to really go back into the scripts and see if that objection was already handled, but modify it to that person's needs.
Absolutely. And modify it to your personality too, right? Some of these I've heard it, you know, other people say, and you know, I'm from the Midwest. There's certain things that we probably wouldn't say. So scripts are all about just being the anatomy of a conversation, and then you modify it to the potential prospect and your own personality. You know, one other conversation I have with agents, especially when they're afraid to have the conversation with their broker, but they know they need to make the move, I prepare them up front. A lot of it is getting them ready for that conversation. So, hey, Belinda, tomorrow when you go meet with your broker, you're a high producing agent in your office, right? We both know that. You've been there for 5 years. They're going to want to keep you. That's why they gave you, you know, your office space, your desk, because they're literally trying to do anything and everything they can to keep you. And guess what? Tomorrow, don't be surprised if they offer you the world. They offer you 100%. They offer you a check. We brought on an agent a couple weeks ago. They literally offered him money to stay. But I have to ask you, if they value you enough, Belinda, before you decided to make that move, shouldn't they have offered that to you before?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
they should have.
So be prepared when you go in there. Is there anything they can offer to you that would change your mind?
Not right now, not even a trip to Disney World.
Nope.
Well, let's hope we can get enough stock and revenue share that, you know, you'll be able to pay for your own trips, right? But, you know, my goal is to help you build a true business, to become a business owner and not just operating in your business and building someone else's legacy. So you're going to have to be prepared. It's not going to be easy. They're going to offer you anything and everything. But if I might recommend something when you go in there tomorrow,
What's that?
ask them, can they offer you KV Core? Ask them, can they offer you world-class training with other agents and brokers sharing their best of the best secrets with other top producers? Ask them if they can give you stock in their company. And then ask them if they can give you revenue. Can they literally split the revenue with their agents? And my guess is going to be that they're going to say no. And I would respectfully say, I believe you've just made my decision for me. And I think you should look at the opportunity too.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that close.
Me too.
And
I
I
like that.
always say things with a smile.
Yes.
Because, they may not be interested initially, but you'd be surprised at how many come around. There's a reason why we're the fastest growing residential real estate brokerage in U.S. history. And I firmly believe that we're going to be number one. And
yes, me too. And I want to be a part of that growth with the 100,000 agents.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we're going after 1 million. You can either choose to sit on the sidelines and watch, or you can join us and ride the rocket ship with us.
Yes.
I appreciate this so much, Micah.
Me too.
I know
Me too.
that when it starts to roll in, and Tammy too, when it starts to roll in, the abundance is going to come in an avalanche.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's going to keep growing. So thank
Yes.
you for sticking this out with us.
My pleasure.
Yes.
And the same here, because, you guys are faithfully here every single week. And I want to tell you something. If you get anything away from this, agent attraction is not easy. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to go get a buyer seller than it is for an agent to move their license over to the brokerage. With that said, you're changing lives, you're serving more people, and it's financially more responsible for yourself and the other agent. So if you can really grind and stay focused consistently, which you guys have shown that you're doing that, you have a completely different business 12, 24 months from now. But what happens when agents get that first no, right? Then they're like, well, this is not for me. I'll just go, sell another house. Well, that's great. I'm glad you're representing buyers and sellers, but are you going to do that for the rest of your life?
Exactly.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I truly appreciate this too, because it's like you hold us accountable. And by us doing that agent attraction webinar once a month, it allow us to, have them come and look onto something, and I really appreciate that, because I was thinking about that. I was like, that'd be cool if we can do a Zoom call once a month, just sharing the opportunity, because I know Louis used to do it at his office. We used to try to do it weekly, but then COVID happened. So I'm super excited about that, because I will reach out to, and I'm going to just keep following up with the agents and reaching out. And that's another reason why I want to build my database, is for when people do come in my downline, I can, pass some buyers off to them and get a referral fee.
Right.
Because I feel like I'm going to get a lot of business 2021. So, yeah.
You mean to tell me you don't want to just bring bodies over to the company? You want to help them produce more too?
Yeah.
That's the way we do it.
Exactly. That's the way we do it. I love it. I want to thank you guys. My promise to you is we are going to commit to doing this once a month, but I don't want it to stop there. Tammy, Belinda, if you guys have several agents and you want to jump on a call, don't hesitate to reach out to me. That's what we do all day long.
Okay.
So, if you can get 3, 4, 5 agents on a call, we will jump on a private webinar. So,
okay, cool.
I want to thank you guys. I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. We are going to skip next week just with it being right after Thanksgiving, but we'll kick back off in the beginning of December.
Oh, I just want to share this with Belinda. I know Black Friday, I don't know what you use for lead generation, but Black Friday, it'd be a lot of sales going on. So like if you use any dollars or anything like that, check the systems out around that time, because they have a lot of sales going on.
Okay.